Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome and greetings from Salida, Colorado. I am gearing up on my way to Denver. Gosh, Saturday for Fancy. So, anyone heading to Fancy, give me a shout out. I'd love to meet up with you. And anyway, I want to welcome you all to Live with Lesli, and I'm Lesli Vitel, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now, if you are a health practitioner, a health coach in private practice, and are hypothetically looking for ways to save time and really try to minimize all those admin tasks that many of us are so burdened with, right? Um, Really to free up time so you could spend more time doing the work that you love, and that is helping your clients. I want you to know you are in the right place. So today I'm so excited. We're going to be chatting with Brittany from Practice Better. Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to have this conversation for such a long time, and here we are. So today we're going to be talking about how to save time and drive more impact in your health and wellness business. So a great topic for today. Again, everyone joining us, welcome to Live with Lesli. And I'm Lesli Vitel, a practice growth expert and mentor for health professionals in private practice. And I help my clients to attract more right fit clients, sell more programs, and ultimately grow an awesome, profitable practice while integrating multiple streams of income into the mix. So that's a little bit about me. I'd love to just kick things off by welcoming Brittany. I'm so happy to, finally get some FaceTime with you, Brittany, and have this long overdue conversation about the Practice Better platform. And
Yeah.
so welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm equally as thrilled and excited to be here to chat with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so exciting. So, Brittany, you are dialing in or streaming from Calgary, is that right? So, tell us
So
a little bit about your backstory.
we're both in the Rocky Mountains, sort of,
Yes.
kind of. Yeah, a little bit about me. I was a nutritionist practicing and actually using Practice Better far before I ever started working here. So pivoted from a completely different industry. I worked in real estate for 12 years and did a big industry change just to work in an industry that I felt more personally aligned with, that I felt like I had that spark and that passion for. And I think a lot of people can relate to that same feeling as why we get into this line of work, just wanting to do something that we feel like will drive impact and something that we feel like strongly about, something that we feel passionate about. So a big change for me. I came on board in Practice Better a few years ago now, about 3.5 years ago, kind of right when the world was tipping upside down and people were needing to find virtual solutions. So it was a great time to join Practice Better. And because I had been a user of it, I've just always been a really strong product advocate for Practice Better. And what's funny now looking back is that when I used Practice Better, I was really just like scratching the surface of the features that the platform has to offer. And I still loved it because it still gave me so much benefit. Now that I know even more of the ins and outs, of course, I love it even more. So I'm thrilled to be here.
That's amazing. I hear amazing things about the platform almost every single day.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for me, Practice Better was not around when I had my private practice, but boy, could I see the benefit. I got to tell you, back in those days, and it wasn't that long ago, let me just say, it's not like it was, 30 years ago. It was, gosh, how long has Practice Better been around?
We were created in kind of, I believe, 2016 and
Yeah.
hit the
Okay.
market more around 2017. So fairly
Yeah.
new still. Even for myself, I wasn't practicing that long before Practice Better came around. However, I was like Google Docs and making meal plans in
Right.
spreadsheets and things like that too. And basically working so many hours that I was like not even making minimum wage because I was spinning my tires with just inefficient systems. So
Right.
it really was a game changer. And now in the work that I do, I think back, like, if this had existed when I had like known about it and really dove into it, it would have been such a game changer for the way that I ran my business.
Right. I know. I just remember those days of, actually like transitioning, just believe it or not, from paper, right? Like, grabbing patient and client files before I ran out the door to go in person to see clients, right? And then I started to slowly transition into just keeping everything like in Google Docs, which
Yeah.
far from ideal, really. And and now we've got this beautiful platform, Practice Better. So let's dig into our topic for today. And really what it's all about today is how to overcome those time constraints, right? How to
Mhm.
use the platform to help our clients, our users to, really improve their time management so that they can free up some of the time to really work on what's important. And of course, from my perspective, that would include putting on that CEO hat and
Mhm.
really doing some planning, marketing, getting out there, talking to people, meeting people, right? Networking, all those sorts of things. But when we are so bogged down with all those administrative tasks, what ends up happening? Well, I don't need to tell you guys, right? But we end up just kind of sitting at our desk. I always say hiding behind our computer,
Yeah.
right? And it takes away, it zaps us of our energy,
Yeah.
and it has a direct impact on patient care and client care. So tell us a little bit about what you are seeing out in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think a lot of our users of Practice Better and the broader health and wellness community get into this line of work because they want to have impact. Similar to myself, I can resonate with many of our users from that one piece. No matter what designation you are, no matter what
Yeah.
kind of practitioner you are, because we serve everyone, that is kind of the commonality with everyone, is that we want to have this really incredible impact on the health and wellness of our communities and the world. But the problem is we're getting so bogged down by the administrative tasks and by those menial little things that we can't necessarily get rid of, like they need to get done. But it's taking up that energy, like you said, and really robbing us of that passion. Like nobody got into this line of work to be like doing the bookkeeping and to be doing like the back and forth scheduling and filing things and all of that, sending reminders to their clients. Nobody got into this line of work to be spending their days doing that. And what's happening when people don't have efficient systems and they are getting that first maybe wave of momentum where they're getting their clients in, is they're getting so bogged down by the administrative work that then they can't take on more clients and they can't continue to scale their business because they're so in the trenches with this administrative work, that then their growth comes to kind of a halt, and then it's not sustainable for them. So we see this kind of pattern form of the people who are so excited and so passionate, they want to hit the ground running, and then they kind of like get hit in the face with overwhelm of all of this administrative work that's eating up all of their time, to the point where they can't see as many clients and therefore they can't grow their business. And then they start to like have that imposter syndrome of like, well, maybe I wasn't meant to do this, and should I go back to my 9 to 5? And everything starts to unravel, and it's just like the last thing that we want, right? We got into this to have that impact.
Yeah, to help people, and yeah, to have a really strong impact in our lives and in the world.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, so powerful. I'd love to hear from our audience, what your observations are, in your own practice in terms of just, those super time consuming kind of admin tasks. Give me a sense of, maybe where things are for you in that process. So, how can practitioners, because, like we get so busy that every day is kind of a whirlwind, right? So, how can practitioners actually recognize where they are spending more time than they should on these types of, soul sucking tasks?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The hard thing is when we're thinking about these administrative tasks that are eating up our time, a lot of them are essential to our businesses running, or they're very hard to not prioritize. Maybe we're putting them at the bottom of the to-do list, but then that's like biting us in the butt in another way. So the reality is that this is work that needs to get done. So this is things like sending forms or reminders or that invoice or sending an intake form, all crucial parts of your business. So it's like, well, I can't get rid of these things. So how do I even start to fix it? So what I recommend to practitioners is start to keep a time log, because when you're just sending that one form or sending that one invoice, you might think, well, that was just a couple of minutes. It really wasn't that bad. But when you start to see how those tasks add up, you start to see that you could be taking hours back in your week and applying that into places in your business that are going to drive more impact, whether that's working on new offerings or marketing or working directly with clients. What we find at Practice Better is that all practitioners have routine tasks that are repetitive. And if we need to be repeating these tasks, how can we automate them? So that's my first recommendation, is kind of write a workflow. What's a typical day? A lot of us are our own business owners, so every day is maybe going to look a little bit different. But what are those tasks that you are doing on a day-to-day basis that are routine and repetitive? And then start to keep a time journal or a time log where you're actually quantifying the amount of time that these things are taking up in your day and in your week and overall in the impact that your business is having.
So, so good. I love the idea of keeping a log. And this is something that I talk to my clients about a lot as well, especially when it comes to, other things like building your team and, delegating and creating SOPs and that sort of thing. You kind of have to know, like, what are those tasks, right?
Yeah.
Where are you spending your time? So that really, really resonates. We have a couple of comments that I want to share. Jessica, so happy that you're here. So Jessica is my client, and she's an amazing naturopathic doctor in Vermont. So I am absolutely delighted. I spoke with Jessica yesterday, and she is a Practice Better user, and she rescheduled a client so she could listen live. So bravo. And she's definitely feeling bogged down with the administrative tasks, everything Brittany is saying. And she also says, I've discovered a few of the Practice Better automations, like sending health update journals prior to a patient's appointment. Definitely could learn more.
Yeah.
So, great. And I know Jessica had a few questions that she wanted to run by you today. So Jessica, feel free to type those in and we will get the answers for you. And then we have another member of our audience. Unfortunately, I can't see who you are. Facebook sometimes keeps those secret and private, so I can't see your name. But this person says, I'm just launching my business while working in the hospital full time, and I'm finding it very difficult to find time every day to get work done for my personal business. So, okay. Oh, and this is Franco. Welcome. Welcome.
Super common. It's super common that we see people in our industry who are maybe shifting from private, clinical work into private practice, or maybe they're switching industries like I did and they're kind of doubling up in the meantime. And you're in this state of like pure excitement in some capacities where you've got all these ideas that you want to execute and just simply being limited with your bandwidth and your time. And it's really defeating, and it really can rob you of that passion, like I said. And so truthfully, this was a big part of why Practice Better was created. So our co-founder was a holistic nutritionist. So she was a health and wellness practitioner herself, and had a similar mission to, I'm assuming, all of us, of wanting to have that impact. But what she was finding was that every single client that she was onboarding into her practice was adding hours of administrative work. And she just simply couldn't see enough clients to then generate enough revenue and have the impact that she wanted out in her world. So she was like, there has to be a better way, and Practice Better was born. So all of these pain points that we're all experiencing when it comes to time and feeling bogged down and just simply not having enough time is like such a finite resource, probably the most valuable business resource, right? When we think about it. That's why Practice Better was created, was to make things simpler, keep things in one place, keep things streamlined so that you can start to carve away your time delegate some of those routine, repetitive tasks to the system and work on other things yourself.
I love that. Yeah. I really do love, just even the scheduling, the fact that, the system is automated to send out reminders. Like all of those things take a lot of time, not to mention rescheduling. Oh my goodness. When you start going there, that is where I was like, okay, like doing it myself kind of by hand, by email. I felt like, gosh, that's a place, there's a lot of room for error, human error, right? So, yeah, that was always a concern. So, the automations, there's so many ways the platform can save you time. So, all right. So, in terms of how practitioners can, like a starting point, it sounds like your recommendation is to keep a log and really get clarity in terms of where's your time going? What are all these tasks that you're spending a lot of time on? And what are the tasks that we can potentially delegate to the system, which I love?
Yeah.
What a great solution. What are
Yeah.
the more common, I guess the more common integrations or, like, I don't know if you can just comment on some of the additional integrations or, opportunities that the system has to save time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, what's nice is that because Practice Better was created from a practitioner who herself was going through the same pain point, time
Yeah.
saving solutions are infused throughout really every single feature. So everything from what is maybe perceived as a basic feature in Practice Better, like forms or scheduling or invoicing, those are the things that are so fundamental to taking back our time. And then once you get a little bit more familiar with Practice Better and start to kind of explore and dip your toes in the water, you'll start to discover a lot more robust features that you can start to incorporate that are going to take things to the next level. So we have actually a full feature called automations, which will automatically take care of administrative tasks based on certain triggers that you set up. So let's say, for example, that you have a client who is coming in for their first appointment. You can automatically have that intake form delivered 3 days before their session so that they have some time to fill that out. You can also have them tagged so that you know exactly what stage of the business that they're at with you, so they're nice and organized. And because all of these features were designed to work together in a really seamless way, what's nice is that when you start to use tags, then you can use broadcast messaging more easily, and then you can, add links to your services that you've created. So everything works really harmoniously together. We kind of call it the patchwork of systems that we're looking for people to say goodbye to. So goodbye to that patchwork of systems, because reality is like you can use third-party scheduling tools or places to store your documents and places to host video sessions. But if they're all in different places,
Mm,
we've got the added challenge of trying to make all of these pieces of software work together,
yep.
which a
Yeah.
lot of us are not super tech, like that's also not
Not what we went to school for,
included,
right? And
right?
it's not really what we enjoy, right? If we did
Exactly.
enjoy that, like, we'd probably be in the tech industry, probably. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea here is that not only are time-saving things infused into all features, all of these features are designed to work together. And that's another way that you're going to be more effective and efficient with your time, is simply by not having to figure out how to get two pieces of tech to work in tandem together. How are you going to, get a calendar booking in one place and then send an invoice in another and store all your docs in another place? You can use these all together, and it's just going to make your life so much more streamlined and optimized. It's really a game changer.
One question that I have gotten myself about the platform, maybe you can answer this. You integrate with Zoom,
We
obviously.
do.
So can a person using Practice Better, can we do group programs like group Zoom calls
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
platform?
So
Okay.
when it comes to thinking about being more impactful with our time, that's a model that we're seeing a lot of health and wellness practitioners shift into, is away from necessarily the one-on-one model and into group care, because now you can see more clients with that same amount of time. So Practice Better is also set up for you to facilitate group sessions,
Okay.
whether that is through a group call on Zoom where you can see everybody's face and have that virtual meeting with everybody. We also have group programs where you can run people through like your signature course or program, have that group online program, super flexible. So you could do a master class, or you could have the 6-week program, and tons of features in that where you can have like a place to build community and a place for your other group members to interact with each other and hold each other accountable and celebrate each other and support each other. So very much set up for that group model, so that people can start to, just see more clients with their time, with their limited time.
That's great. Yeah, that's definitely in alignment with the philosophy that I teach is, at a certain point, you're going to run out of time for one-on-one, right? So we need to look at ways to help you to essentially scale, right? To be able to make, serve it. It's really going from the one-on-one to one-to-many model.
Yeah, exactly.
So really important. Okay, so we have a few questions that are coming in. Let's see. Let's see here. Just want to make sure. Okay. So here's a good question from Farhan. How can we be sure? Wait, how we can sure we spend quality time in a day? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a question exactly. What is your interpretation of that?
I think just how do we ensure that we're making the best use of our time?
Yeah.
Maybe that is what Farhan means.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big thing is focusing on the work. If you can identify the work that's actually driving impact in your business, it's not the administrative tasks, those are necessary.
Yes.
But it's like the client care, the ideation, the marketing, all of that stuff really matters for moving the needle when it comes to growing your business and scaling your business. So it's all kind of coming full circle, and maybe I'm being a little bit repetitive to emphasize this point, but if we can eliminate those repetitive tasks, take them off our plate, they're still happening in the background. We're just not having to manually do them, so that we can focus on client care. If you think about having an exceptional experience, this is just for yourself, right? If you go to a restaurant, or you go to a great hotel, or you go somewhere fantastic, our natural inclination is to spread the word, tell our friends and family about this fantastic experience that we had. If you're feeling so rushed client to client that you can't dedicate your time and your energy and just your focus on that client in order to give them the best experience possible, that's going to impact your business, because we want those clients to be able to have such a wonderful experience that they're telling their friends and family about us. That's a big way that our businesses grow. So that's like a real emphasis of how you should be spending your time, is really focusing on elevating that client experience, because it will come back to you in other ways in your business. And then also carving out time for the behind the scenes work. So what are you bringing to market? How are you marketing it? That all really matters in this industry too, especially if you are that solo practitioner or running your own business or your own practice. What's really nice about the scheduling feature in Practice Better is that you can kind of block your calendar, or basically just make certain times of the day unavailable for clients to book in, so that you have carved out time to do that behind the scenes work. I would love to see from the people that are watching this live, how many people feel like they have all these ideas that they simply just can't execute because they're too busy on either the admin work or the client care work, because that work really matters too. So I hope that helps answer the question, Farhan. Just taking away all the tasks that can happen without your manual work and focusing on the work that's just going to move the needle the most is what I would recommend, as far as kind of maximizing the quality of how we're spending our time.
Yeah, I love that. And, I would just add to that, like, the concept of income producing activities, revenue producing activities, right?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, this is a business, right? And we really do need to generate revenue. Unfortunately, a lot of these tasks, like, yes, do they need to be done? They do. However, they're not driving your bottom line, right? So I would just add that, every single day, ideally, we are making sure that we are doing some kind of revenue generating activity, right?
Yeah.
Some activity that can be directly tied to making money, right?
Yeah, it really matters if you want this to be a sustainable business venture for yourself, because we
Right.
we do see that kind of turnover of people who want to like hit the ground running, and it just frankly is not sustainable, and they
Yeah.
do end up back in maybe their 9 to 5 or a field that their heart isn't in
Right.
as much, right? So that's such good advice to carve out time to do those activities.
Yeah. And, I'll give Jessica, I hope you don't mind me using you as an example. Jessica's my networking rock star. Um, and, she has been able to generate so much business via referrals, right? This does require you getting out and potentially meeting with people, right? Either face to face in your community or maybe on a Zoom call. But I would call that a revenue generating activity because you really can, like, it's even measurable in most cases, right? So try your best to every single day prioritize at least one revenue generating activity, right? Just really, really important. So okay, so uh we have a question here. So wanted to know how much support is offered teaching an old dog new tricks. So I think we are referring to, like support from the platform. So
Yeah.
what are your comments on that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, one thing that I think is really helpful context is that our team, we have several different practitioners on our team of all different designations. So why I mention that is that we've been in your shoes before. And so that certainly helps us empathize with our community and their needs as far as the tech side of things, but also just like the business side of things. And that's why we do work like this on this live, is because we're passionate about supporting our community make the most of their businesses and therefore practice better. So we have a huge library of videos on our YouTube that you can utilize, both long and short form content. You can pause and use to your own discretion. A help center where you can search any key term in relation to the platform, and an article walking you through it step by step will come up. Really helpful blog, live events. We also have a fantastic support team, and we're always evolving as well. So we're always finding new ways to bring new layers of support to our community. And that's kind of a consistent thing with Practice Better, is that we're always in a state of evolution and figuring out how best to serve our community. So yeah, rest assured that we are very much on your side and on your team as far as kind of getting the most out of Practice Better.
Yeah. And I've never used the platform myself. However, like I said, I have lots and lots of clients who do. And I always hear the comments about, the support. So, just kind of indirectly, I can attest to the quality of customer support. All right. So we've got some questions from Dr. Jessica. Okay. So she says, I have a pre-questionnaire form that she created in Practice Better that's linked to her website. So it's kind of like an application, right?
Mhm.
It's a form that we have her clients fill out prior to having like a discovery call, right? When a potential client completes it, I receive the answers to my email. However, then I'm unable to upload the completed form to Practice Better.
Mhm.
If I send, oh wait, is this a different question or part of the same? If I send the link to a potential client in an email, the form will upload to Practice Better. Any suggestions on how to troubleshoot this or how to keep track of these website inquiries?
Yeah, so it's hard to know just from reading the question without kind of being able to delve
Look,
into what you're seeing on your end,
yeah.
Jessica. But there's potential that it could be a couple of things. It could be that it is in the platform and we're just not looking in the right spot,
Mhm,
or it could be that you need to review and add the potential client into the system in order to see it.
mhm.
Um, but I believe, you know what? If we can connect after, if you want to send me like a short Loom video or a screenshot, and I'd be better able to probably help you out. One thing is like with how robust Practice Better is, it can be a little bit tricky without having like as much information as possible how to best direct, but definitely will help you get a solution, Jessica.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, so you guys can connect offline. Brittany, what is your email? Just in case. Is it Brittany at practicebetter.com?
.io. That's all right. That's right.
Is okay. Brittany, I'll type it in, guys, at practice. Oops.
PracticeBetter.io.
Okay. Oh, okay. There you go, Jessica. So you and Brittany can have a chat and get that all figured out. But one of the key takeaways that I get asked all the time is, can I create an application and put it on my website and have it connected to Practice Better? And I
Yeah,
always say yes.
yeah,
So I'm getting confirmation of that. What I do like about that is that, because this is pretty private. I mean, it does need to be HIPAA compliant, right?
yeah,
People filling out an application, they're putting their name, even like their contact info, a lot of private medical kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I do think it's a good idea to house these applications under the Practice Better umbrella.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So everything is HIPAA compliant. So when it comes to, an application form or something, I know that there's some people who maybe want to deviate to things like Google Forms or
Mhm.
other third party things of that nature,
Mhm.
but best to keep it in a place where you have
Yeah.
that confidence. Your clients have that confidence that information is staying private.
Mhm.
Typically, how this would work is if you are creating a form as an application, you can use a public link to share that. If a prospective client fills that out, they'll be added to your Practice Better account as a client that you can review and add. And then if you find upon reviewing their form that they're a good fit for you and what you do, you can go ahead and add them and they'll have a client record and away you go. So you can absolutely use Practice Better for every stage of the client journey, which is another thing that I love to talk about is whether it's introducing leads into your business or working with those clients or even having kind of an offboarding plan in order to maximize your revenue and add additional streams. Maybe you're not working with them as intensively one-on-one, but you're having a program that's going to help continue to deliver resources and support that client in a more hands-off way, but still generate you income.
Mhm.
So super great that Practice Better can be there kind of at every stage of your client's journey, from
Yeah.
perspective to being completely, autonomous and independent
Right.
because you've given them all the information and um, support that they need to go off on their own and sustain that change.
Yep. Yeah. And one other thing that I love that I hear, again, I haven't done it myself, but I've seen how this is set up kind of from a user perspective. And that is the ability to upload and offer evergreen courses.
Hmm.
Right? Like pre-recorded
Yeah.
content to, either people that you're working with privately, as like maybe a bonus and or people who have specifically purchased this course.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So,
could structure it in either way. Yeah.
so guys, what I love about that, because you often hear me talk about multiple streams of revenue, right? And just how, now, not to say you're going to immediately go there, especially if you're brand new, you really do want to stay focused, right? Spread yourself too thin, not the best plan, right? So, but at a certain point, like I said, you will run out of hours to sell in your practice. And that's where you really need to start to think about scaling. And
Hmm.
what I really like about the platform, Practice Better, is that for courses, and for group programs and things like that, what's nice is you don't have to go out and buy another platform to house your content. So I think it's a huge benefit. I know the platform wasn't obviously built for this purpose, but it certainly seems to handle it quite well.
Yeah, you know what? We're seeing so much, it's so popular
Yep.
program in our industry that because of that, we've really evolved that feature on our platform,
Okay.
to be on par with some of those big ones that we think about when running a course. So
Yep.
definitely some added convenience in that you're only paying one monthly fee. And then of course you're keeping everything in one place. So if you have a client who you maybe have the opportunity to work with in more than one way. So let's kind of give an example client journey that somebody comes to you through a masterclass that you run or a workshop. They like what you have to say, so they sign on to be a one-on-one client or maybe in your kind of more intensive group program, and then you offboard them to your monthly membership where they still get resources. You've got this whole timeline and this whole record of every step of that client journey along the way in one place. So you're not going through your email, you're not going over to Google, you're not going over to Dropbox and then finding that thing in your downloads on your computer. Like everything is just conveniently in one place. So it really does help streamline your work so that you're not like unintentionally spinning your tires just trying to even like locate things, because you'd be amazed at how that work also is eating up your time too.
Yeah, and just keeping track of your passwords. Just
Yeah,
saying,
right.
right? Like
So
even that
true.
alone, this morning I was like, "Oh my God," kind of in that situation. So yeah, I mean, there's really something to be said for everything in one place. And I know you guys have a lot of integrations with other tools that practitioners use. So
Yeah.
again, it's just so nice to have it all in one place. And I'm sure the patients and the clients appreciate that as well. So they're not like searching all over the place. And I know this is like a really kind of no brainer feature, but I just want to remind everybody just the importance of keeping your communication with clients within the Practice Better umbrella as well, right?
Mhm.
Instead of, getting text messages on your personal phone, or even emails, right? It's HIPAA compliant. It creates a sense of separation
Yeah.
between your life and your work life, right?
Yeah.
Which, it's just like it kind of goes without saying, but just remember, keep it all under one roof, right? Protect. I mean,
Yeah. And
it's
in
about
doing
boundaries.
that too, you're taking advantage.
Say that
Oh,
again.
sorry about that. I think that I had some lag on my end, but I was
Oh,
the benefit to doing those client check-ins in platform is not only the like the HIPAA compliance, which is super important, but also again, it's designed in a way that you can be the most effective and efficient with your time. So client check-ins are one of those things that I think is super important for the overall client experience and ensuring that they feel supported and that they feel like they actually have your care and attention. But if you
yep.
have a full roster of clients, doing those kind of even casual check-ins can take up a ton of time from you. So there's a way in Practice Better to actually check in with all of your clients at once. So all of the active clients that you're working with, you can do it in a matter of minutes. But the client is still going to receive it as an individualized personal message. So what's happening is you're messaging a chunk of clients at once, a group of clients, but
Okay.
they're still receiving everything on their end as an individual personalized message where they will know none of the difference that you have messaged multiple clients at once. So instead of
Wow.
spending 2 minutes on one client, you're now spending 2 minutes on 15 clients or however many active clients that you're working with, and you're delivering that same level of care and attention as if you were, working with that client one-on-one. So not
Okay.
only are you keeping things secure, you're also, again, saving time,
Saving
which
time,
is a really,
which is what we're
yeah.
talking about, right? That's great. I don't think I realized that. That's a great feature as well. So we have someone that said, "Hi, I made the decision a while ago to go with Practice Better due to client endorsement. Just haven't pulled the trigger yet." So if you guys want to run or, head on over and grab yeah, tell us, I think maybe at this point it's good to talk about this. So this is my affiliate link, guys. It's lesliebytel.com/PB. Can you tell us a little bit about like, I guess first steps, how to get started?
Yeah,
Like what are the
absolutely.
options? What does that look like? And what is going to be the onboarding flow?
Sure, absolutely. So everybody can start with a 14-day free trial. And during that 14 days, there are several different plan types that you can bounce around during that trial so that you can really gauge whether you need certain features, or if you can keep things a little bit more basic. So that's your opportunity to kind of test things out. During that time, we also have a really fantastic onboarding sequence that walks you through how to get certain key features set up in the platform. So that's the basics that you'll need to start seeing your clients, like setting up your services, setting up your schedule, how to create an invoice, how to set up a form, all of those really fundamentals that are important to actually utilizing the platform. And then we also have a lot of additional layers of support, like I mentioned a little while ago, whether that is attending one of our getting started sessions with my colleague Shelly Myers, or participating in some of our live events or checking out the past events, and just to delve in. The people that are the most successful on Practice Better are the people who are willing to put in that little bit of upfront work to get things built out, so that things, once you have them built, they'll just continue to operate. But it does take that little bit of extra time in the beginning, but it will pay you dividends once it's up and running.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. Now, I get this question quite a bit. How easy or hard is it to transfer one's data from another platform? So, like, let's say someone wants to switch. Can you tell us, can you speak to that? I know, ideally, you're going to start out with Practice Better, right? Like right from the get go. But, there are some people that, maybe chose maybe, before Practice Better came around, right? And
Mhm.
now they're kind of contemplating, but they're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to take that on. So can you speak to, what that process looks like?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have within our help center an article that will walk you through kind of what you need to
Okay.
transfer your information from another platform over to Practice Better. You can actually reach out to our customer support team, letting them know that you're transferring over from another platform, and they will help facilitate that. So we do have people on our team that are going to help make that transfer happen, so that you're not kind of feeling like you're starting from scratch and
Right.
like, oh my gosh, it's just this big overwhelming thing. Still some work on the practitioner's end to consolidate all the information that we need to get it up in Practice Better, but we definitely make it easier for you to get started.
Okay. Okay. That's great. All right, good to know. So again, my link is lesliebytel.com/PB, and you can get started and grab yourself a 14-day free trial to check it out and decide if it's a good fit for you.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at what we wanted to cover today. Is there anything that we left out? Maybe let's see here. Looking at our questions. All right, we talked about where you'd start. Did we cover what features that you would start with in Practice Better to like get that immediate uh,
Mhm.
taking back of your time? I think you covered that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, those basics that I covered, like setting up your services so that you can facilitate bookings, automate your invoicing,
Okay.
automatically deliver forms. Like, those are a lot of the administrative tasks that we're dealing with every single day that do eat up our time. So, just by implementing those basic features in order to see your first client and practice better, I really think that you're going to notice a huge difference in just the amount of time that you're spending doing those quote unquote menial little tasks that are necessary but time suckers. So yeah,
Yep.
just start with the basics and you'll notice a difference immediately.
Reclaim your life, right?
Yeah.
create those
absolutely.
boundaries, reclaim your life. Guys, I get kind of fired up about this because there's just so many things to do. I hear it every day. And the problem, in addition to just feeling bogged down, is I often hear about burnout, right? And
Yeah,
honestly, it's like it's all those tasks that we don't enjoy that suck
yeah.
our lives, right? They're like soul sucking, right?
It's
Um,
so yeah,
and so, but the thing is nowadays there are, obviously really viable solutions
yeah,
to that. So I really want to encourage you to do what is necessary, create boundaries. I think, looking at the platform, I think it's a great way to create boundaries. And believe me, patients and clients are looking at you to be the role model in that regard, right? So create those powerful boundaries, stick with them, reclaim your life. I would just say that's the most important thing. And that is going to free you up to really be the CEO so you can drive the business. Because do not be fooled. A lot of people are, but you guys are not, right? Because we're having this conversation. A lot of these menial tasks, they do need to be done, but they do not drive revenue, unfortunately.
mhm,
Kind of a necessary evil, if you will. So these are the things that we need to delegate to the system so that you've got, the time, and also just, I don't know, like the mind, I don't know, the mindset, right?
yeah,
To go out and be energetic and excited and drive the business. It's just so important.
yeah,
Anything-
absolutely.
Is there anything that you'd like to add, Brittany? It's been such a great
I think you've really nailed it. When you think about the type of client that, or how you're going to attract clients, a lot of clients want to work with someone that they feel like is walking the walk and talking the talk. And
Mhm.
if you're burnt out and you're stressed and you're so overwhelmed with your
Right.
business that you're not ultimately taking care of yourself to the capacity that you know how to do, and you're having that disconnect between having the knowledge and actually living it because you're so busy,
Yeah.
that's when you need to have that moment of reckoning with yourself that there is a better way and it's time to make that change,
Yep.
and take those first steps.
Yeah, I mean, it does remind me of putting on your own oxygen mask first. You know that saying where, you're on an airplane and they always say, if
Yeah,
you have a small child sitting on your lap, put on your own oxygen mask first and then take care of the child, right? It's
yeah,
kind of the same thing. So, guys, really reclaim your time, reclaim your life, create those boundaries. Yeah, we got to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, we're not going to be very good at taking care of our patients and clients, right? So, all those things I could go on and on about, but you guys already know because you talk to your own clients about this, right? But sometimes we just don't do it ourselves. So I'm hoping that you guys are feeling inspired today to, really take a hard, honest look at how you're spending your time. And if you're already on Practice Better, really look into additional features that
mhm,
the platform offers because there may be integrations that you're not taking advantage of yet. And it
yeah,
really is worth that time, right? I know it's
yeah,
a little bit of an investment up front, but
yeah,
it's kind of like, I mean, it really kind of reminds me of like hiring a VA, a virtual
yeah,
assistant in a way. Like, okay, I know it's not exactly the same, but I do get this, I hear this all the time. Like, you know what, Leslie, it's just better. I'm just going to do it myself, right? Because it just is too time consuming. I can't wrap my mind around like having to train somebody. But
right,
once you do it, you'll be free, right? It'll set you free. So it's kind of that like you just invest a little bit of time up front. You don't have to do it all at once, right? Just
yeah,
pick, one thing at a time, get it figured out on the platform, and just slowly kind of move through some of those amazing integrations that the platform offers. And before you know it, you're going to have a business that's just humming in the background, right?
absolutely.
You just,
Yeah.
and you're going to love it. You're going to be happy. And the thing is, we didn't even talk yet about how it makes the client feel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a whole different experience for the client, and it really benefits both. But the client will have their own client portal that they can log into, and that can be even on their smartphone through an app. That can be on a tablet. That can be on their actual computer. So I feel like nowadays, it's even a little bit more rare that people are sitting down at their proper desktop computers and doing work on their computer.
Mhm.
Now a client can check in with you on their phone, send you a quick message through the platform, complete a form through the app. So they have just an ease of use, because I think that we recognize as practitioners and at Practice Better that the less barriers, the better, right?
Yep.
The simpler, the better in terms of getting your client to actually stick with their plans, to actually see things through, to actually stay the course, to get to that point where they're experiencing change. And then they're going to have the word of mouth and all of the stuff that follows. So, certainly really important. I also see a couple of questions
Oh,
asking about integrations.
oh, great. I'm
So,
glad you saw those. I was on
yeah,
the wrong
I
page.
just want to
Okay.
address that. The integrations with Living Plate, we do not have an integration with Living Plate. However, we have recently acquired that Clean Life, so a meal
Yes.
planning
Oh my God.
nutrition
Yes.
software, and an integration is in the works for that. So what will be fantastic is that through one login, you'll be able to access that Clean Life through Practice Better and create your meal plans and everything right in one place and share them with your clients. Rupa, yes, we have an integration with Rupa and Avexia. So if you're sending
Okay.
labs, you can work with either one of those.
Mhm.
And then FullScript, same idea. You can integrate your Practice Better account with FullScript, come up with client protocols directly in the platform, and the process as far as the client ends, where they get the email from FullScript, sharing that protocol with them, where they can then purchase and do their thing, have the supplements directly delivered to them,
Mhm.
can happen really simply. So tons of
Amazing.
integrations that just kind of scratches the surface. We've also got ones that benefit kind of more on the client end. So things like Fitbit, Apple Health. So you can integrate Apple Health with the client food and mood journals. So you can start to pull like their exercise data and their sleep information and have really fantastic insights into your client's lifestyle, just simply by them linking a piece of tech that they're likely already wearing, and then they're not having to like manually log. So we're saving clients time as well by having some of these integrations available.
Amazing. Yeah, a lot of good ones. All right, guys. So I hope you got a ton of value from spending your time with us today. What a great conversation, Brittany. Really appreciate your sharing your time with us and your expertise, and just a fantastic topic overall. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Really enjoyed chatting with you today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, those of you that are going to go to Fancy, drop me a line. I'll be at booth 308 on Monday for the marketplace, and also have a little happy hour, kind of impromptu happy hour plan. So drop me a line and we will send you the info so that we can connect. I'd love to meet you in person. All right, everybody, take care. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Hi, everyone.